Do we have audio now? Yes. Yes, we do. So, welcome to the stream. It is amateur hour, and I've messed up the intro. But Moyland setting the first time of 1:30.9. Hyder coming up to the line. Does a 30.6, so 3/10 faster than Moyland. What else have we got on a lap? Mrs. Cole with a 32.3. Find the pass at 29.1. So I wonder if he has finally bought himself a new controller or if he's still fighting with stick drift. Sonicus is on an outlap. Oh, Brooksy, what happened? Didn't even realise you'd gone out. So 32.1 from Casto. 10th off the time set by Moyland. I didn't see anyone else's sector 1 times. Too much talk in 5th gear. Never mind. It's a long race. You've got the sprint to get through. And then hopefully you'll be in a better position for the feature. Casto making his way down to turn 12, I think. There's going to have to have a smoke. One of you will suffer. Harry not intending to run at the moment during the wet, so Casto into the pits. Mrs. Carl improves to a 31.2. Zolak's invalidated. Even in cons, it is lovely weather, so all the drivers are over the moon. Just need to. Where have you gone, mouse? Turn those fans up and get that temperature down, because that's feeling a bit on the warm side. So Thornicus sets a 28.5 to go to the top at the moment, as Camus is round and into the wall. Doesn't lose a wheel though, although it does look like someone's wheel's further up there. I'm guessing that's probably Brooks's. One will have a massive grin on his face if we're rain in the race. Barely drivable with a dry setup. So I'm guessing the now bone dry is we're going to have dry races. A little disappointing. Takes some of the excitement away. Yeah, wet quality. Race all dry. Zodak just starting his next run. Wi-Fi's invalidated. Casto on an outlap. Hobo on an outlap. Frenzy off to the wall by the looks of it. I don't know if he's picked up any damage. Showing any. Doesn't appear to have picked any up. Gives a little entertainment in terms of setup choice. So yeah, but I think most people will end up running a dry setup if it is a dry race, and just sort of suffer through quali. Hobo coming to the end of sector 1. A little bit of a slide out of the corner there as he went across the curb. A 32.2 for Hobo. We're wanting to try and equal the time set by Mrs. Cole as Zodak moves up into 6th with a 31.1. Martin up into 4th on a 29.3. Unless they think they can defend around here. With so many DRS straights around here, I think you'll be a sitting duck running a wet setup on a dry track. But yeah, I suppose some people may be able to do it. Just the final sector to go for Hobo. Runs a little deep into the penultimate corner. Keeps the car on the track. Run to the line, being followed by the Alfa Romeo. Hobo does a 1:31.9, so he was close to the time set by his teammate. But Mrs. Cole has moved herself up into 4th on a 29.1. So some work to do for a bit of work to do for Hobo to try and close that gap to Mrs. Cole. That's Dan getting on. He's coming through the final corner as Casto goes to the top on a 28.0. As Dan crosses the line in one Mercedes, a 30.6, we see the other Mercedes of Moyland going round out of the final corner, having to sit and wait for the traffic to clear, just the Red Bull to go, and then you'll clear after that. Red Bull into the pit, so Moyland can get back round, but that's going to cost him time as he starts to build this lap. He's going to be running slower into turn 1. I'll give you a shout out, Harry, and a virtual high five. My weather's still saying we're away off getting any dry running. 6 minutes ago, the weather's saying we've still got rain for at least the next 10 minutes. Hyder has improved to move himself into 4th with the 29.0. Still got stick drifting, mate, it's scary. Come on, find the pass. You need to get a new controller, man. Stick drift is going to be costing you something somewhere. That's Mr. Cole into the pits. Moyland's invalidated this run. I wonder if he's got fuel to go again. Doesn't look like it. Hobo's invalidated. Wi-Fi coming through sector 3. Where will he find himself? Bit of a slide out of the right hander there. Keeps it tidy. Runs deep into the penultimate corner and into the pits. Hobo going to stay out of box as well. Hobo's staying out for another run. Dan's 9 seconds down on his time. How's Camus getting on? Camus is up on the time on the board. I think that was set after he had his excursion into the wall out the final corner. It's not a Friday night without a beer. Just 3 corners to go for Camus. Looking tidy at the moment. Ease onto the throttle, gets the drive out of the final corner, much better that time around. Run to the line, a 29.5 moves Camus up into 7th place. Find the pass 30.4 through sector 1. I swear that said he was 8 tenths up. We'll see at the sector 2 marker 49.4, 7 tenths up on his previous time. It's going to put him on a 28.4. It's going to be good enough for second, but can he find anything in the final sector? And he's found about half a second here to take that provisional pole off of Casto. A little bit of traffic ahead, hopefully isn't going to interfere. Looks like they're on their way down the start finish straight already, so Van der Paas may get a bit of benefit from a distant toe. A massive improvement in the final sector. Took over a second out of his time to go to the top with a 27.3, 7 tenths clear of Casto. A great effort. Casto though is on a lap, only half a second up in sector 1. So Casto is pushing. Does that mean the track's drying out? Doesn't look like it is. 2 minutes ago, these are the important laps. Sector 2 split, still half a second up for Casto on the 49.3. Going to need to pull something out the bag in the final sector. Feels like the longest sector on the track. Yellow flags behind, but that won't affect Casto. He's already cleared that area. Oh, big slide out of the penultimate corner. It's going to cost him a couple of tenths. And another slide coming out of the final corner. It's left some time on the board. Crosses the line at 27.7. So he does improve, but only by a couple of tenths. He might be tight for being able to get another lap in. If he wanted to do a cool down lap, he's going to have to push. We'll see how he's doing through sector 1. Big slide out of turn 5. Car looking really unhappy at the moment. Second and a half down in sector 1. It's gone back to Thornicus, who was half a second up in sector 2. So he's be looking for the same sort of improvement. Find the pass found in sector 3. Probably about the same distance behind that Haas as Find the Pass was to the Alfa Romeo, so we may get the distant toe. Does the line to go 27.391, 6.5 hundredths off his teammate's time. That is good enough for second place. Casto with 15 seconds to go. Is he going to get to the line in time? It's going to be very close, but he does just get across the line in time to start another lap. So we try and keep an eye on those behind. Martin unable to improve, or he does improve, sorry. He took 8 hundredths out of his time, so stays in 5th. Mrs. Cole 2.5 seconds down in sector 1, so sector 2, sorry, so won't be improving. Hyder 2 seconds down. That's an Aston coming into the pits. Dan's a couple of tenths up, but he's got an Alpine just in front. The Alpine of Ari. Ari moves up into 11th. Dan jumps up into 9th. 29.2 for Dan, 29.5 for Ari. Nolan's retired in the pits. Who have we got left to come round? Casto 700s up through sector 1. Feels like he's going massively down in sector 2, so he's bailed on this lap. So Find the Pass taking pole. Thornicus in second. We've got McLaren front row lockout, which I think is the first time this season. Not sure what happened to Casto in that middle sector. We had a moment. Dan and Zodak together as usual. You two are very similar on pace. Hopefully you can work together and earn some decent points for the pair of you. That onboard camera is just excessively loud. So, Find the Pass takes pole for the sprint. Thornicus in second, followed by Casto and Moyland on the second row. Martin and Mrs. Cole make up your third row. Frenzy and Hyder on the fourth row. Zodak and Dan are on the fifth row. Camus and Ari on the sixth row. Hobo and Wi-Fi on the seventh row. And Scarito and Brooksy on the eighth row. Times. Top four within a second. Come on. Will work. And then fifth down. They're all pretty close. We have got a dry race, so wet times don't really count for much. We'll wait and see where we end up. Just waiting for the drivers to work out their strategy. I can see that's on Perez's side of the garage, so I can see the mediums in the Red Bull garage. We'll wait and see what people decide to fit. That's a well-timed ad break. Didn't even see a warning that was coming. As we start the some telemetry, let's go for tyre data. So your top 9, Find the Pass, Thornicus, Casto, Moyland, Martin, Mrs. Cole, Frenzy, Hyder and Zodak all going for the medium tyre. Dan Routh going for the soft. Camus, Ari, Hobo and Wi-Fi on the medium. Scarito going for the hard tyre and Brooksy on the medium. So a couple of strategies at play. Zodak letting Dan know that the softs are a mistake around this track. Oh, wrong button. That one. We want that back on. That. So we can keep an eye on the positions over the first couple of laps. Could be back any second from the advert, just in time for the cars to start getting their arse round to the grid. So Find the Pass leading everyone round. A little bit of a gap to Casto, who does seem to have picked up on the hold the brake method of getting heat into the tyres. Gaps. So that Hyder's left a little bit of a gap. As we are reforming the grid. Race strategy is on the screen. That's Ari round out of the final corner, I think. Hopefully that's not caused them any damage. So here we go for the start. This is the worst camera angle the game could possibly give me. It's lights out and away we go. No carnage from that view. So find the pass and Thornicus side by side into turn one. Find the pass, riding the curb. I think losing out there. Moyland on the attack. Casto getting past as well. Find the pass, finds himself down in 4th place by turn 3. Casto and Moyland getting the jump there. Penalties already for cars behind. It looks like everyone else has got through unscathed. Camus getting the jump on Dan. So Dan losing out. I thought those soft tyres would have given him a better start. Hobo up 1 place. Brooksy's gained 3 places off a start. A great start from Brooksy. Wi-Fi has held on to his starting position. Ari down in 15th, and we've got Scarito bringing up the rear, carrying a little bit of damage. So end plate damage for Scarito. That will hurt him around this track. So it's not very nice cons. So who's that round at the back? That's Brooksy round. So Brooksy having a good start, gaining 3 places, losing out now, dropping to the back of the order. Still out in front, Thornicus managing to hold off Casto at the moment. No DRS available yet. Casto closing up in the slipstream. Is he going to try and find a way through up towards the chicane? 3-second penalty for Scarito. Ari in the pits, just making their way out. As we go through the chicane, Casto not quite close enough to go for a move that time around. As Northern Irish, it's acceptable. Casto looking around the outside of turn 13. A little bit of wheel banging between the McLaren and the Ferrari. Find the pass, taking the opportunity to come around the outside as Thornicus and Casto got locked together. Moyland losing out there. I think Martin was going to try and go for the move, but saw the yellow flag and held position. As Moyland picks up a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings. So 3 laps in and already penalties dropping for off-track moments. So find the pass back into the lead. Thornicus stays in or back into 2nd place. Casto back in 3rd, and Moyland back to his starting position of 4th. What else have we got further back? Wi-Fi picking up the corner cutting penalties now. Mrs. Cole has a little bit of space back from head of Frenzy. As Casto looking to try and get the move done on Thornicus into that same corner. Using to back out of it this time around. Very close to the back of Thornicus, under braking into the penultimate corner. Onto the start finish straight. They will have DRS, I think. They have got DRS, so find the pass. Won't have anything to defend his teammate with other than his ERS. Thornicus will be hoping they can work together, try and pull this gap open to Casto as Moyland goes very deep into turn 4. Has to take to the escape road. That drops him down all the way to 9th place. Dan under pressure from Camus. Dan has managed to get back past Camus. Camus trying to look around the outside on this flat out section, gets the move done. So Camus back up into 10th. Camus going for the soft tyre. I think they picked up the fastest lap as well on the pass, and Thornicus still running first and second. Castro still not able to find a way past, getting very close to the back of that McLaren. Martin sitting just behind this battle will have the best view and is in the best position to pick up anything, any bonus places if there is incidents ahead. Harry with another 3 seconds. Casso trying to look up the inside of Thornicus, but Thornicus covering that off. So having to back out to get the right line for the right-hander. Coming up to the next DRS detection point. This battle goes all the way back to 6th place. Frenzy closing out the back of this DRS train. Casso with the DRS. Thornicus has the DRS as well. Side by side through the chicane entry. Managed to get through it unscathed. Casso going for a bit of a dive there. Contact between the two of them again. Martin getting involved in that this time around. Casso with floor damage and end plate damage. Thornicus pushed off into the gravel. Thornicus with floor and body damage as well. So that's dropped Thornicus down into 10th. Moyland with a big moment coming out of the final corner. Looks like he managed to keep it out of the wall, but it's dropped him down into 12th place. Wish we could go back and have another look at that. Hobo in 11th. Up 2 places on the start, taking advantage of Moyland losing ground as well. Zodak holds on to the final points position and not far. In fact, ignore that, he is right on this DRS train all the way up to 2nd place. Casso and Thornicus having their moment earlier has allowed Find the Pass to open that gap, give himself a bit of breathing space. Casto pushing to try and close that down. Mrs. Cole getting the move done on Martin, takes her up onto the final podium spot. Martin having a look down the inside, trying to find a way back through. Can't get the move done there. He's carrying end plate damage and floor damage, so the car's going to be a bit of a handful for Martin. Frenzy on the back of Martin now as they come onto the start-finish straight. Frenzy pulling out alongside, will be through before the break-in for turn 1. That's Frenzy up into 4th. Mrs. Cole holding on to 3rd place. Starting to drop back from this front pair. Find the Pass still ahead of Casto, but Casto is right on his tail and will have the DRS. Although Find the Pass has got a comfortable 50% margin on the ERS over Casto. Go Mrs. Cole. Yeah, that was a great move from Mrs. Cole. Although sad to see losing out to the Ferrari of Frenzy. So Mrs. Cole drops down into 4th. Still has a decent gap over Martin behind. One of these cars in front does pick up a penalty. That could change things when we get to the end. Thornicus fighting his way back up on his recovery, finds himself now in 8th place, and the final points place that does move Zodak just outside the points. Dan not too far behind in 10th. The Mercedes are going to run some team orders to try and capitalise. Moyland is having an absolute mare today. So we are on to lap 8. Casto holding on to second place even with that wing and floor damage. Does get the DRS though. Will help him close up on Find the Pass. Looking to go up the inside into the chicane. Gets a nose in front. And it looked to me like there was a bit of contact between Find the Pass and Casto there. Which resulted in Casto going through the gravel. Frenzy having a big moment behind. I thought he was going to take Mrs. Carl out there. Having got up into second place, Frenzy has a big slide. Costs him second and third place, so he finds himself down in fourth. Casto not giving up on the attack, going back after Find the Pass with the DRS. Mrs. Cole will be coming under pressure from Frenzy as well. Very evenly matched on the ERS. Mrs. Cole able to hold him off at the moment. They make their way through turn 4. And that's turn 4. Yeah, it was turn 4. Casto will get the DRS again on the run to the chicane. Very evenly matched on ERS now. Casto choosing not to go for the move into the chicane, but will he use the second dose of DRS to try and get the move done into the right-hander? He does stick it up the inside and gets ahead of Find the Pass. That camera angle is hideous. So coming to start the final lap. Casto has taken the lead. That helicopter's having a mare. Can Find the Pass to do anything. Not close enough to get the DRS apparently. Have they not sure why he didn't get DRS down the start finish straight. He has got the DRS now. The yellow flag in sector 1. I think that Thornicus has been round through turn 1. Not sure what happened to Thornicus there. Moylan's moved up into 8th in the final points position. Zodak in 7th, Hyder in 6th, Martin in 4th, 5th, Mrs. Carl in 4th, Frenzy in 3rd. Find the Pass trying to get back past Casto as they come up towards the chicane. Find the Pass going to the outside. Casto blows in the door through the left-hander. Probably got one more chance to go for a move. Looks to the inside into the right-hander. Again, it looks like there was a little bit of contact there, front to rear wheel. Both keeping it on track. Turbulence. Yeah, that would have been a better word to describe the way that camera was running. So out the final corner, Casto will take the win in the sprint. Find the Pass picks up second. Mrs. Cole grabs third for the final podium place. Frenzy in 4th, Martin in 5th, Hyder in 6th, Zodak takes 7th, Dan takes 8th, Hobo in 9th, Camus in Thornicus in 10th when penalties come into play, Camus in 11th, Moyland in 12th. Scarito, Wi-Fi and Ari still to cross the line. Scarito is ahead of Wi-Fi, but I don't know who's got more penalties out of this pair. So Wi-Fi getting the move done out of the final corner, and as they cross the line they do stay 13th and 14th, and Ari crosses the line to take 15th place. We've still got Brooksy. Sorry, Brooksy, I completely miss you there. Really needed that half wing. Castle against other. I'm guessing camera had damage, but leaving a read ball and then trap loads. Sure, multiple times and bounced past me. Mate, I'm so good at this game. Yeah, it had to be wing damage for camo. Everyone else needs to start trying. Well, yes, you are very good. 18 seconds ahead. So we have got another run at this. What's the space for the feature? So Casto with the win, find the pass in second, and Mrs. Cole rounding out the sprint podium. And now we go to the race. Also, Alpine being super aggressive with Alpine. Tried to run me off the road sideways and rear-ended someone else. Looking through Discord. I wanted that half a wing back. Dan speaks about camo. Is there a rule about braking excessively for DRS? Not that I'm aware of. I don't believe there's a specific rule about that, Martin. Let's see what tyres everyone's gone for. So Casto and find the pass on the soft tyre. Dan Routh picking the wrong tyre again. Mrs. Cole and Frenzy on the medium. Martin going for the hard tyre. Hyder on the soft. Zodak and Dan on the medium. Hobo and Thornicus on the soft. Camu on the medium. Moyland on the hard. Wi-Fi and Aria on the soft. Scarito on the medium. And Brooksy on the soft. I mean, they got you to the end, so yeah, they weren't a bad call. It was a different strategy to everyone else, so yeah, fair play for trying it. Get that to that, bin that off. Clear weather all the way. I'd love to see a bit of rain come into the feature. So drivers come round to line up on the grid. So softs, you're looking at lap 12 to 14. Medium runners will be looking at about lap 14 to 18. Crap, camera angle again. Can I have a view from the front, please, game? 4 lights, 5 lights, and it's lights out and away we go for the feature race. Come on, camera, swap. Casto with a good start. Mrs. Cole with a great start, looking around the outside of Find the Pass. Find the Pass closing the door. So holds on to second place. Frenzy and Martin battling it out behind. Hoping to keep it clean. Looking further down the order. Thornicus up 2 places off the start. Dan losing out, and Moyland up 2. Hobo losing out 2 places. Camus down 1. Ari and Scarito both up 1 place. Wi-Fi down 2. Brooksy holding on to the pack as he starts his recovery drive, trying to see where he can get in the feature. Out in front, Find the Pass going miles off track there. Comes back on, but is slower down the straight. Mrs. Cole getting through, and we've got a VSC. That will neutralise the grid. Brooksy's been in the walls. No front wing on that Alpine. Looks like part of the front wing might be lodged under the car. A little spider. Wrong button. So Ari into the pits. The Alpines are going to be stacking in the pit lane. We've had Find the Pass into the pits. Hobo, Wi-Fi, Thornicus, all into the pits under the VSC. Well, this is going to hurt Brooksy. Ari having to hold for the 5-second penalty for contact with Camus, and then waiting for that front wing. And now the Alpine garage can get back to work on Brooksy's car. So, oh no, it got upgraded to a full safety car, sorry. I missed that. So, at least allow the Alpines to get onto the back of the pack before we get racing again. Casto staying out. Only 1 lap completed on those soft tyres, so it makes sense to stay out and hold track position. Chances of being able to get to the end on a different tyre are probably quite slim. Probably doable, but you're going to have horrendous pace and be at risk of puncture come the end of the race. So this order at the moment, Casto holds on to the lead, Mrs. Cole in second, Frenzy in third, Martin in fourth, Zodak in fifth, Hyder in sixth, Dan in seventh, Moyland in eighth, Scarito in ninth, Find the Pass in 10th, Thornicus 11th, Hobo 12th, Wi-Fi 13th, Ari 14th, and Brooksy running in 15th. As he makes his way round, wrong button, that one, put the telemetry on. I need to get a bit of a move on Brooksy to close that gap to the pack. I wonder if he was getting screwed by the safety car delta. As he has picked the pace up now. So Casso on the soft tyre, Mr. Colin Frenzy on the medium, Martin on the hard, Zodak on the medium, Hyder on the soft, Dan on the medium, Moreland still on the hards he started on, Scarito on the medium, and then we Find the Pass through to Wi-Fi all on fresh mediums, Ari on the soft, and Brooksy on the medium. So safety car in at the end of this lap. Casto holds the pack back as he allows the safety car to pull away and get into the pit lane. Where will he choose to launch? Will he go early or will he leave it as late as possible? He has gone on the exit of the penultimate corner. He's managed to catch Mrs. Carl out a little. Mrs. Carl getting putting a nice gap over Frenzy in third. As Zodak looking for a move on Martin. Running in 5th place. See the guys in front and wants to get on the attack of that one. Casto already opening over a second gap to Mrs. Cole. Mrs. Cole maintaining that gap back to Frenzy. Holding on to second place comfortably at the moment. As Moyland and Dan trade places. Find the pass and Thornicus getting clear of Scarito. Not close enough to attack Mrs. Cole at the moment. Be looking in the mirrors at Martin and Zodak. Hyder's in there as well. Moyland first on the edge of DRS. DRS not available at the moment. As Casto crosses the line, a 1:20.8 from Casto. Take the fastest lap so far. This is Cole opens that gap out of turn 2. He's got a really good drive out of the corner. Thought Frenzy won't be too stressed at the moment. Well, he has got Martin just behind for company. Frenzy playing the team game for Ferrari. This is going to be a good haul of points for the Ferrari drivers as we stand at the moment. So we find the pass and Thornicus both pitting under the safety car. They're going to work their way through the field at some point, but they're only going to have a lap fresher tyres than those around them, so they may not find they have the pace advantage over others. Why have we got another safety car? Brooks has been round again, another front wing needed on that Alpine, so that is why the safety car is back out. Casso and Mrs. Cole coming into the pit. Hyder as well from 6th place. So where is this going to bring them out? So gets going, but he's going to come out behind the McLarens. He's going to come out a long way down the order. Drops down into 10th place. Brings him out in 11th. Mrs. Cole recoins in 12th. Hyder in 13th. Wi-Fi recoin in 14th. As Brooksy just gets round to the pits, becoming for a new wing. So Frenzy inherits the lead of the race. Martin up into 2nd, Zodak running in 3rd on track. Now we've we've got a bit of time to kill. Still under the safety car. Tickets already being raised for incidents in the race. At least the ticket incidents are being reported, which is a good thing. They could always be reported. Oh, excuse me. It's Frenzy leading Martin, Zodak, Moylan, Find the Pass, Thornicus, Dan Routh, Hobo, Ari and Casso in the final points position. Mrs. Cole just outside the points, Hyder in 12th, Wi-Fi in 13th, Scarito in 14th and Brooksy in 15th, just making his way around to join the back of the pack. What tyres have we gone for? Can we have a camera angle that lets me see? Brooksy going for the soft tyre. Hopefully we will be back racing shortly. This race feels like it's taken a while, but then we have had 2 safety cars. That's the only Alfa Romeo here. Casto back into the pits. So a fresh set of mediums onto Casto's car. To see if anyone's throwing any damage. Looks like everyone's running clean at the moment. I don't think Casto will be long before he's on the back of the pack. Hopefully we can get back underway. Ooh. We can safety car in this lap. Oh, that's uncomfortable. Anyone would think I'd had a hard day at work, but we finished what we were there to do by 10 o'clock. Can't even blame that. Must just be an age thing. Everyone weaving around as Casto embraces his inner Kimi. Where will Frenzy choose to go? Safety car is in the pit lane. Frenzy has launched. Martin holding with him. Zodak getting caught out a little on the restart there. Anything to stay in front of Moyland at the moment. A little deep into turn one for Zodak, putting him under pressure from Moyland as they run down towards turn three. Side by side into three. Zodak needs to be aware of that McLaren of Find the Pass just behind as well, who's looking to try and find a way through. Side by side contact there between the pair, and I think Thornicus got caught up in the back of that as well. It's given Zodak floor damage. Thornicus seems to have got away without damage. Oh, fuck's sake, another safety car. Dan's up into six. Find the Pass got away without damage in that clash. Another safety. This is the third safety car. Oh. So Frenzy decided now's the time to come into the pit, which is going to allow Martin to take the lead. Moreland will move up into second. Zodak back into third. This is the safety car. I didn't even see your car showing as not moving, Brooksy. At least we know there can only be one more at most. And we've got them out the way early. We're going to have a second sprint race. I don't think Brooks calls all three. He did, I think he calls the previous one. The first one was for the Camus exit. I think Brooksy actually got caught up in the back end of that as well, because he came through that section with no front wing. As soon as you see why I stopped playing this, yeah, a lot of people are feeling that. Wi-Fi, I'm sorry you're bored, but I feel for that cat. We might get some racing soon. Hopefully we get a lap without safety car. But like the safety cars come out, gone in, come out, gone in. I think it pretty much has. We've not done a full lap without safety car yet. Welcome to F1, Brooks. It's horrid. No wheel has any real feel to it. You've still got 18 laps to go, Zodak. Don't get carried away just yet. But I want to see you fighting to hold on to that podium position as best you can with that floor damage at least. You are the only one carrying damage. We saw how well you've coped before with the damaged car. Yeah, well, according to my overlay, you've got floor damage. It's light green. Yeah, my overlay may be wrong then. could well be lying. So safety car in this lap, so Martin will have the pleasure of the restart this time around. At least we've had a different leader for every safety car restart. Will Martin do the same as everyone else and go between the last two corners? Will he try something different? It looks like he's tried something different. Gone a little bit early into the final corner, and that has allowed him to pull the gap on Moyland. Zodak sticking with him, but Thornicus straight on the attack, tucked straight into the slipstream of Zodak down towards turn 1. Can't find a way past, but I don't think it's going to be long before we see Thornicus pull out of the slipstream and try and get alongside Zodak. Zodak defending brilliantly at the moment, just parking the car exactly where you need to. A little bit wide on the exit of 4 has allowed Thornicus through. So Thornicus up into 3rd. Zodak is back with his rightful playmate of Dan Rowell. These two spending a lot of time together during the races. Hobo up into 6 on the back of these guys. Ari in 7th. Mrs. Cole in 8th. Hyder in 9th. Frenzy in the final points position. Find the pass and Casso way down the order, but they have pitted out of sequence to everyone else. So they're going to have some work to do, as it looked like Hobo got a little bit close. Was that Ari actually getting a little bit close to the back of Hobo? Hobo with a big kick of oversteer out of the penultimate corner. Keeps it pointing the right way. Zodak dropping back from Thornicus, and Thornicus trying to close down Moyland and Martin. So no change behind in this battle for 4th place. Caught in a bit of a train at the moment. Frenzy still holding on to 10th place. Find the pass. Yeah, I don't think you're wrong, Brooksy. I'm going to try and keep an eye on it, but I want to keep an eye on the battle at the front as well, as Moyland's getting closer and closer to Martin. We've also got Dan and Zodak battling it out, as looks like Mrs. Cole up the inside of Ari, so Mrs. Cole up into 7th place. A nice move there. Getting past the Alpine. Moyland's lost a little bit of ground to Martin and losing out to Thornicus down the start-finish straight before the DRS became available. So Thornicus up into 2nd. Moyland in the wall. Martin had a moment coming out of the fuck's sake, you... Martin had a moment coming out of turn 2. Moyland saw that moment and decided, anything you can do, I can do better. Scaritos had contact with the destroyed Mercedes and picked up a 5-second penalty. And we've got another safety car. Oh, it's now off to pay. Yeah, he's done it on purpose. He wanted to carry on with his painting, so he thought, fuck it, I'll put it in the wall. Another safety car, and I've still not thought of anything to talk about. There's not a lot that's happened since the last safety car. Casto. Oh, Casto's picked up a punter. So Casto with a right rear punter. I'm going to stay with Casto as he tries to nurse this car back round to the pits. As Martin picks up 5 seconds for speeding in the pit lane. Dan Routh takes over lead of the race. Another safety car, another new person. To take the restart. Casto round into the penultimate corner. Find the pass and Hyder coming into contact. Which is taking off Find the Pass's front wing. This I can't understand this game at all. Perfect grip for 2 laps and then absolutely nothing on the rear. Adrian Newey to Ferrari, Hamilton to win, Tottenham, great. I mean, yes, I know what you mean, Moyland. It's just bizarre. But the driving standards seem to have slipped again. And last week was pretty poor, and this week, I don't know, I'm seeing a lot of unnecessary contact between drivers. People are starting to be a bit over aggressive. I think it's something we need to look back at after the race and figure out what the hell's going on. Some of them are driving like there's actual prizes on offer. I know Hobo has offered recall rounds for certain drivers, but that's not for driving performance. Fuck off with the onboard camera. So Find the Pass, pit in for that new front wing, and they'll be serving that 5-second penalty as well. Yeah, did you get any souvenirs, Brooksy? Could have stolen a Rolex sign or two. So Dan finds himself in first, Mrs. Cole in second, Hobo running in a couple of tyres and a migraine. Hobo in third, Hyder in fourth, Frenzy in fifth, Wi-Fi in sixth, Martin in seventh, Thornicus in eighth, Zodak in ninth, Ari in 10th, Casto in 11th, Find the Pass comes back out in 12th place, and Scarito in 13th. Tell you what, this game is giving me a migraine tonight. I'll turn it down a bit. Lapse of concentration from Find the Pass. The Hobo would need another 11 drivers to go out to secure a podium, I think, here tonight. He's going to be under a lot of pressure from those behind. Don't get me wrong, it would be nice to see him on the podium. Dan getting caught out a little on the restart, losing the back end, so loses the advantage he'd built from when he initially launched. Mrs. Cole, seeing him losing out, is hot in pursuit. Hobo playing wingman to his teammate, trying to keep those behind where they are for as long as possible. Mrs. Cole really is pushing to get past Dan. She can taste that victory and wants to get it. Wants to get the first place, going side by side through the fast middle sector. Gets in front before the break-in for the chicane. So Mrs. Cole moves into the lead. Dan Roush down into second. Hobo holding on to third place, actually pulling the gap to Hyder, as Hyder's under pressure from Frenzy, who goes down the inside and gets the move done. So Hyder drops to fifth. It looked like he was trying to look for the cutback there on Frenzy. Quite close enough to go for it. Martin is close enough to look for a move down the start finish straight on Hyder. Come on, camera, swap so I can see where they are. And he does manage to get just ahead into turn one. So Martin up into fifth. Hyder's going to be coming under attack from Thornicus now, who gets a better drive out of the second corner. So Thornicus up into sixth. Casto comes through as well. Casto on the soft tyre will be trying to regain as many places as possible. Now we are back under green flag running for a while. So find the pass. Hyder's lost a lot of ground. Hyder's dropped down into 12th. Find the pass. Zodak, Ari and Scariso all getting past Hyder. Mrs. Cole is opening that gap to Dan behind, over a second gap. So she's cleared the DRS. Hobo is right on the back of Dan as well. He's got Martin just behind. Martin trying to find a way past on Hobo. I'm looking very close into that final corner break-in. Find the pass has managed to get past Casto. Thornicus into the pits. He's got front end plate damage. They're not going for a new wing, just new tyres for Thornicus. Don't know if that's what he was looking for, if he was wanting that front wing. Hobo has lost out to Martin and find the pass. Casto forcing his way through there. Oh, contact between Hobo and Frenzy. Looks like Hobo just closed the door a little bit too much on Frenzy there. They both survived relatively unscathed, although Frenzy has got rear wing, floor and body damage. He's still hustling that Ferrari though, as Zodak can smell blood. Gets the move done on Hobo, so Zodak up into seventh. Hobo with a bit of floor damage finds himself running in eighth. Mrs. Cole still with a breather to the cars behind, but has got Martin, find the pass and Casto in pursuit. Ari is out, coming out of turn, I want to call that turn 13, I don't even know if it is turn 13 anymore. Thankfully it doesn't bring out another safety car. Dan making his way down the pit lane exit, will come out ahead of Thornicus. Does find himself down in 11th. His playmate Zodak sitting in 6th. Just behind Frenzy. Should hope he'd be able to close in towards Frenzy. My phone's going mad. Wait. Martin has got the move done on Mrs. Cole. They're side by side down towards turn 13. Mrs. Cole not giving up the lead. As all three, that was a big one. We've got a big crash and cars across the track. Everyone needs to be careful. So you come out of turn 13 and you've all still got your foot down. So we've now lost Martin and Mrs. Cole. We're only going to have 10 cars left. We have only got 10 cars left now. So Casto inherits the lead. Frenzy in second. Zodak back into third and that final podium spot. Hobo is just behind in fourth, and we've got a nice gap back to Wi-Fi. Dan Routh up into sixth. Thornicus in seventh. Scarito is making his way out of the pits in eighth. Find the Pass coming out in ninth. Hyder coming out into 10th place. With the lack of safety car, this is going to hurt a few people. They've got some serious work to do and not many laps left to get it done. Zodak just needs to nurse this Red Bull round to pick up his, I want to say it's his first podium. It's going to be his first podium of this season at least. Oh, turbulence getting the helicam. So we follow Hobo through the final corner. He is carrying some body damage. Casso has cleared a 6-second gap back to Frenzy. With his main rivals further down the order and some distance back, won't be under any pressure for a few laps at least. Thornicus and Dan clearing Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi now sitting in 7th place. Hobo is carrying a penalty, but he's currently got a 10-second gap back to Thornicus. Just needs to try and maintain that as much as possible, but I think Thornicus is on the soft tyre, so expect to see that gap come down. So he is still carrying that wing damage, which will cost him a little bit through the corners. Thornicus now picks up a 3-second penalty, so can Dan use Thornicus to help pull him through and up towards Hobo and take advantage at the end of the race when penalties come into play, as Hobo picks up another 3 seconds. Not close enough for... No, he has got DRS, sorry. He'll get a second dose of it down the second straight. That'll help him keep with Thornicus a little bit longer. Zodak maintaining that gap back to Hobo as my timing screen is going all over the place. Casso building that gap back to Frenzy up to 7 seconds, nearly 8 seconds now. Frenzy carrying floor, wing, rear wing and body damage. That will go some way to explaining why Casto's able to open that gap so quickly. That Ferrari looking rather battered at this stage of the race. As we start lap 24. Zodak still holding on to third. Hobo maintaining that gap. We'll be looking at that split time, 6 seconds back to Thornicus now. 5 laps to go. It's going to be close come the end of the race. Dan not a million miles off the back of Corner because he has dropped out of the DRS, so he's not going to have the DRS to help close him up. He just needs to try and stick with Thornicus as long as possible and hope Thornicus gets held up when he does eventually catch Hobo. Wi-Fi running round in clean air. Scorito in 8th, also in clean air, but with no front wing, so not sure what's happened to Scorito. He has lost that front wing, so he is going to have to come into the pits. Find the pass, body damage and rear wing damage. He's just trying to plug away and get to the end of this race. This is one of the races I think a lot of drivers will be glad to see the end of. Zodak picks up a penalty for off-track moments. Floor and wing damage, I think, is starting to take a toll. Hobo's tyres are going to start falling off soon, although he is closing on Zodak. Rears are at nearly 60%. Thornicus, though, is still pushing as much as he can. He's got within 3 seconds of Hobo. That's another beer down. I don't actually fancy another one at the moment, which is unusual for me on a Friday. So Frenzy, even with the damage, looking comfortable for second place at the moment. Hobo has closed to Zodak. He'll get the DRS this time around down the start-finish straight. Opens that rear wing. Can he close enough to go for a move? But you can't down a can in less than 10 seconds. For fuck's sake. I'm going to wait till the end of the race. Mainly because I don't want to be burping constantly for the next 3 laps. And I want to keep an eye on this battle as Hobo is ever closer to Zodak. Pushing the track limits again. Picks up another 3 seconds and runs deep into the right-hander. Has allowed Thornicus through. Thornicus had been sneaking up on the back of this pair. Thornicus, please don't do it. Let Zodak have a podium. Hold my beer. You don't need to hold my beer. I'll hold it myself. I'll do it on cam as well. Thornicus, no. Don't do it. Oh, Thornicus has done it. Thornicus got past Zodak. Zodak, you've got to stick with him. Got to hope the penalties come into play. Don't worry about Hobo behind. Hobo's slow. You can do it, Zodak. We all want you to do it. Prove cons wrong. Use that DRS. The ERS is very similar to Thornicus. This is really the only, probably the only close battle at the moment. Though Thornicus has broken out of the DRS. Hobo's going to be coming under pressure from Dan Routh, who snuck up nicely as everyone's been battling, taken full advantage and sitting with no penalties as well. Dan in a really good position to grab some good points for Mercedes, carrying the team as he is, as his teammate has been an absolute liability tonight. So with Dan behind Hobo, can Dan put the pressure on Hobo? Stop Hobo trying to go for a move on Zodak, or is Hobo going to use that motivation to try and find his way past? We come on to the start-finish straight. Hobo will have the DRS. Dan picks up DRS as well. Hobo not close enough into turn 1. We'll get a second helping of DRS down into turn 3. Still can't get close enough. Zodak deploying that ERS at all the right times to defend from Hobo. And whilst they are battling, Dan is closing the gap behind. This battle for fourth is going to be interesting with just 2 laps to go. Clonica 6 seconds to find to get to Frenzy. I think that is a little bit too much to ask in 2 laps. Back to the main battle we're following at the moment, this fight for 4th place. As it stands at the minute, when penalties come into play, Dan is going to pick up that 4th place. Find the pass sitting in 7th has got past Wi-Fi. It's 13 seconds off the back of this battle and that horrible bloody turbulent camera angle. Oh, Zodak having a poor exit there from the penultimate corner. Hobo round and into the wall though, as Hobo gets a bit carried away, has lost his front wing. So that's Hobo definitely out of running for 4th place as we go on to the final lap. Hobo's just going to have to try and nurse it round a lap with no front wing, which is going to be difficult as we see Hobo going across the grass into turn 1. So back to this battle between Dan and Zodak. Started side by side on the grid, got separated through some of the chaos, and Hobo needs to be careful he don't get disqualified picking up the penalties the rate is doing. Dan and Zodak got separated through the chaos earlier on and altering pit strategies, but come back together towards the end of the race. Casto has crossed the line to take the win. Dan's got the move done on Zodak, so he's done it on track, not even waiting for penalties to come into play. As they make their way through sector 3, Frenzy will cross the line to take 2nd place. Thornicus picks up 3rd place. Dan's going to come across the line and take 4th, a very well deserved 4th. Zodak looking to try and go for the move up to the line. At the line, 37 thousandths between them. And that 3-second penalty of Zodak's does cement the fact he stayed in 5th place. Find the Pass picks up 6th. Wi-Fi takes 7th. Hyder in 8th. Hobo takes 9th. And Scorito will pick up the final points position. And I need to just reposition a couple of bits, because I did tell Brooksy I'd do this. I don't know why I told Brooksy I'd do this. Find the Pass. I'm also glad that's over. That was quite a difficult race to commentate on. Too many too many safety cars. Zodak, the podium will come, mate. Give it time. You are right on it. You and Dan. Great result for the pair of you tonight. You should be pleased with that. So, confirmation of the results. Casto picks up the win. Frenzy in 2nd. Thornicus on his recovery drive takes 3rd. Dan picks up 4th place. Zodak in 5th. Find the Pass in 6th. Wi-Fi in 7th. Hyder in 8th. Scorito in 9th. And with 12 seconds of penalties, Hobo is the final finisher and the final points collector. Mrs. Cole, Martin, Ari, Moylan, Brooksy and Camu all failing to make it to the end. That's felt like a very long race, and I'm going to see if I can time this right with the countdown. There's the 10. It's there. I couldn't do it. That was too gassy. Sorry, Brooksy, I failed. Oh, fuck, that hurts. Why did I do that? Thank you, everyone, for watching. Congratulations to the podium finishers. I'll be back next week at the normal time. And where are we next week? So that was Melbourne. For fuck's sake, seriously, we've just got safety car after safety car after safety car tracks. We're off to Singapore next week, but at least it's not a sprint. So Singapore next week. Crazy man, I ran 20.2s in time trial and couldn't get near it in the race. Stock setup as well. Fuck this game. Yeah, the less we talk about this game, the better. But thank you everyone for watching, and I will see you next week.